Today, I'm excited to share the proven framework for mapping your end-to-end process as a critical step for businesses ready to scale. Let's dive in. Let's start first with identifying the inefficiencies in the current workflow. And one of the first things I wanted to talk about is how do we find the hidden cost of inefficiencies, right? Most of the business have inefficiencies that silently drain resources and margins. This could be misaligned procurement timelines or production delays or sales forecasting errors. One of the examples I'd love to give is where if you imagine your team spends hours reconciling orders across different systems. Not only it's inefficient, but it's also error prone. And you'll be surprised how many companies out there have built system over system by trying to meet the demand and their rapidly growth without actually taking a step back and making sure that everything is well connected and the data actually flows from one department to the other, from one system to the other, and builds up like a snowball, where we actually find there's still a lot of redundancies happening, a lot of manual work of emailing, waiting for those emails to come in, entering them to a specific system, then be able to manually transfer that to another system. I mean, it's a chaos out there, which is surprising to me. So hopefully that's not happening in your business. But if it is, definitely we're going to be addressing it here as well a little bit today. But one of those really important things to really highlight is thinking about how can we review our key metrics like lead time, error rates, inventory turns. Those would be our really great identifiers where to understand where there potentially could be inefficiencies. Looking for recurring issues, like whether it's a missed deadlines or our highly crunched rates and bottlenecks. Thinking about where you're consistently team coming into you or you consistently hearing frustrations from the team, that could be a potentially as well a red flag of inefficiencies and potentially the current issues that really gets to the team. And if they're not addressed, or if they are addressed on the surface of just addressing the symptom, but not the root cause of it, which is eliminates those redundancies, it consistently can get really frustrating for buyers. It can get really frustrating for their logistical warehouses, and especially when they're completely misaligned. So thinking about that and kind of discovering it, surveying your team or talking to your team would be one of the best ways to kind of identify those inefficiencies. Ask your team where they experience frustrations or delays. One of the best tool that I find in this particular process of kind of defining or understanding where you really need to focus your optimization, right, before you actually going to ready to be scaled, is to potentially hold what I've called Kaizens. And Kaizens really is a 3 to 4, 6 hour meeting or a session that we can, for the lack of a better word, and where we can bring in not just the heads of cross departments, but I always recommend, and it's really critical to bring the actual process users. So people who are actually behind the scenes using the systems, using the process, and hear it from them. What are the frustrations? What are the issues? Where are they experiencing bottlenecks? Putting all of that on paper, I love to imagine a big whiteboard with lots of sticky notes, divided by each different department swim lane, and have them really come into the wall and stick their issues that they're seeing. Then categorizing them because you're going to find out that a lot of the issues will actually fall into certain categories. So categorizing them and prioritizing them would be an absolute important way to then be able to address it from kind of stepping back and addressing them through your end-to-end process.